Hi everyone, I'm Brendan and I'm a Fire Cadet. Welcome to our online open day where you'll see firefighters in action, find out about the Great Fire of London and learn about smoke alarms. So first up, let's head over to Dagenham Fire Station where we'll meet Darren, a firefighter.
Hi guys, welcome to Dagenham Fire Station. My name is Darren Placid and I am a firefighter for the London Fire Brigade. Been working for the Fire Brigade for 15 years now. We thought we would do a little video for yourself about a bit of safety and what we do in the fire station as well. Okay, so obviously you guys are keeping your safe distances with the COVID-19 pandemic out at the moment. Guys, what we're going to do right now, we're just going to do a little run through of what we do if there was a 999 call. So, without further ado, if you'd like to follow me. Right guys, so this is the office. This is where, pretty much where it all happens just before we go out onto a shower. Alright, so, as I said, normally when the bells go down, we would come through here, we'd pick up a call slip, the call slip right here. This actually tells us where we are going. So the last actual incident was a cat stuck under a solar panel. There you go. Who said we don't rescue cats? All right. We'd take the call slip. We'd actually go over here. So this is the map, this is the station, this is our station ground, alright? If you can see, it is covered in red. Alright, that is our station ground. So what they would do is they'd look at the grid reference, they'd actually take a look. As you can see, you've got 31, 32, and then you've got letters at the bottom. They would take a look, see where it is, and then they would jump straight on to the fire engine there, alright? Okay guys, so what we're going to actually do, we're actually going to look at a piece of equipment from what we use if we were going out onto a call out. Okay, so if you guys like to follow me. So this is Tommy, he's going to actually explain about the breathing apparatus set that he's wearing. So go ahead mate.
Good afternoon guys, my name's Tom, I'm a firefighter at Dagenham. This is a very important piece of kit that we have to wear. It's a breathing apparatus. I wear this on my back. And this is a mask that I would put on my face, and this enables me to breathe in a very smoky room like a house, just so that we can do all our jobs safely.
Right guys, so this is Dave, right, so he's actually going to show us about another piece of equipment, which is cutting equipment. Dave will explain what it is. Go ahead Dave.
Hello everyone, so this is the Helmet drone. We use this to cut up a car, so we'll turn it on, and then we'll open it up this way, and we can create spaces. And be able to cut sections of the car apart and move someone from each side.
Right into my fire again. So guys, right, so what we're going to do now, we're actually going to show you guys a little bit of what we do out on the incident ground now. Okay, so as I said before, I'm going to go back into the office, I'm going to drop the bells down, we're going to go and get the call slip, and then we're going to show you a little practical drill in our station yard. Okay, alright, so follow me. Guys, so as I said, right, normally the bells will go down, alright, so you'll hear this, okay, you'll hear that, the teleprinter will go off, right, so what we'll do is we'll reprint the message. As you can see, the printer's gone off. We do take the printer roll paper, we go over to the map. As you can see here, it says map reference 32ZC. So 32ZC is pretty much, here we are, pretty much there. Alright. Once they've done that, once the drivers have done that, they'll jump on to the fire engine as seen. So if you can have a look here, they will jump on. They will jump on here and then they'll drive out. And then they'll go to the incident, and we're actually going to show you how they will work if there was a fire on the 3rd floor of a building. Alright? Cool. Right guys, so we're on the incident ground now. We are just about to do a drill. So as I said before, the fire engine is going to come through. They're going to pitch a ladder up. They're going to get water to work on the 3rd floor of the tower. Alright? So be getting off the engine in the correct fashion. They're ready to get the ladder off.
Side the hill, third floor of the tower, left hand side of the cell.
So they're just about to put the ladder up.
Right. Header extend.
So while the ladder is going up, the water is getting sorted out as well. As you can see, guys, the ladder is going up to that third floor.
Well.
They've made sure the ladder is secure as well.
Head in. Head left.
That's it. That is all secure now.
All's engaged, let the bridge get to work.
Right, guys, so the ladder is ready for everyone to climb up it, and now they're getting the water ready. As you can see, the wall, now they've got all the hose laid out and ready to haul that aloft as well. They're not actually going to carry it up with them. They're going to have two people go up the ladder, throw the line down, throw the piece of rope down, and then lift the hose up. So guys, remember, we never ever work by ourselves. It's always crews of two. So this one person is going to be going up, and then it will be followed by another person as well. Water's also getting ready, getting ready and waiting for the hose to go up as well. So they've got the water sorted, they've got it ready from the hydrant. So as you can see, the first firefighter has gone into the building. The next firefighter will be going up to assist as well. He's almost there. Right, so those two are both up now. That is it. So they're just getting the water ready for everything now. So the guys up the top, remember the rope coming all the way down the line. So this firefighter here now is actually going to tie the hose to make sure they can lift it all the way to the third floor. No pressure, Ollie. So we use specific knots in the fire brigade, all right? So this one right here, it's called a rolling hitch. So Ollie will use a rolling hitch, and then he will use another knot called a clove hitch onto the branch. He will then give a couple of commands up top to make sure they are aware that the hose is going to be coming up.
Up top! Hello! Hold up!
So now Ollie has made sure that they are both, that the hose is secure and it's going up right to that third floor.
Well!
So now the firefighters on the third floor have got hose up there, so they have got water on. So they will be able to, well, in a second they'll be able to get water on. Now the guys up top will give a command.
Delivery number one, branch working on the third floor, 7 bar pressure. Water on, delivery number one, branch working on the third floor, 7 bar pressure.
If you noticed, the person down below made sure they repeated exactly what the people in the building said. He follows the hose around, make sure there's no kinks in it.
Water on, delivery number one, branch working on the third floor, 7 bar pressure. Alright, delivery number one, branch working on the third floor, 7 bar pressure.
And they've repeated it just there as well, so to make sure that everyone has communicated it right. And if you've noticed, now the Ollie will go all the way around, making sure there's no kinks in the hose as well. And now here comes the water on. That's it. There we are. So as you can see, now all the water is on now, so we've got all water on, everything's working, everything's set, everyone's in place. So now I will give the command to knock off makeup, which means they will, the fire's been put out, everything's safe, and now we're going to put all the equipment away. So after 3, 1, 2, 3, knock off makeup!
Knock off makeup!
So thank you for watching. So you see what we can do. We've been able to give you a little bit of an insight within that time. So remember to stay safe, guys. 999 is the number for the emergency services. Make sure you have a working smoke alarm as well. And that's all from me.
Well, that looks pretty good, didn't it? If only we had that kind of equipment back when the Great Fire of London happened. Let's find more about that now from one of our museum creators, Eleanor.
Hi everyone, my name's Eleanor and I work for the London Fire Brigade Museum. Welcome to our history of the Great Fire of London.
So how did it start? The Great Fire of London started on Sunday, the 2nd of September, 1666. It is called the Great Fire of London, not because it was great, as in good, but because it was so big. 13,000 houses burnt down, so lots of people lost their homes. The summer before the fire had been hot and dry. In a bakery on Pudding Lane, Thomas Fariner, baker to the king, was fast asleep. In his bakery, he had a big oven for baking bread, and one night his maid went to bed, but she hadn't put the fire out properly. and a tiny spark was still burning. This tiny spark was enough to spread and then set fire to the whole bakery. Thomas Farriner and his family managed to escape, all except the maid. The fire then spread to the next house, and then the next, and the next. The houses in 1666 were made of wood and their roofs were straw. Both burn really easily. The houses were built very close together, so close that you could lean out of your window and shake hands with the person on the other side of the road. This meant that the streets were very narrow. There was a strong wind that blew the flames from one house to the next. Now remember, this is a long time ago, before we had smoke alarms, so the churches in London rang their bells to warn people of the fire. Many people escaped in boats across the River Thames. Once they got to the other side, they had to live in tents with no food or clean clothes. How do you think these people felt? There was no fire brigade in 1666, so some people tried to put the fire out themselves. They used fire hooks to pull down straw from burning houses. They used water squirts to squirt water onto the fire. They filled buckets with water and passed these from person to person. This is because we didn't have water taps in our houses in 1666. Water had to be carried from the River Thames, wells, or even ponds. The water was then thrown onto the fire. Buckets in 1666 were mostly made from leather. Leather comes from cows. Why do you think they used this material? Because it is strong and tough. It is waterproof, so the water would not leak out when it was being carried to the fire. It is also flexible. This means that it can be stretched into the shape of a bucket. We still use leather today to make things like our shoes, belts and bags. But this type of firefighting didn't work, and the fire got bigger and bigger. It burnt down St Paul's Cathedral and spread closer and closer to the Tower of London. How did they stop the fire? The King, Charles II, and his brother, the Duke of York, visited the fire from a distance and decided to blow up houses to stop the fire spreading. They used gunpowder to blow up houses, and this was called a fire break. This is because by blowing up a house, they made a gap or break in the houses that the fire couldn't jump across. This worked, and after 4 days and 4 nights, the fire stopped. How do we know all about this fire, as it happened so long ago? A man called Samuel Pepys, who lived at the time, wrote in his diary all about what happened. His diary has been kept safe, and we can use it to learn all about the Great Fire of London. Did you know Samuel Pepys escaped from his house in London, but before he left, he buried his favourite cheese and wine? Why did he choose these things? They were very expensive. This means they cost a lot of money. They were expensive because they had come all the way from Italy. What happened afterwards? When the fire stopped, over 13,000 houses had burnt down. London had to be almost totally rebuilt, and this took a long time. What material do you think people used to rebuild their houses? London had learned that wood was not a good material for their houses because it burnt easily. Houses after the Great Fire of London were made from bricks and stone to stop a fire like that from ever happening again. St Paul's Cathedral was rebuilt by Sir Christopher Wren, and this took 30 years. People also thought it would be a good idea to have fire brigades after the Great Fire of London, but the first fire brigades worked in a very special way. To make sure the fire brigade would put a fire out, people had to pay money every year. This is called insurance. To show that someone had paid their money, they were given a fire mark to put on the front of their house. They looked a bit like this. There were lots of different fire brigades to choose from, so each fire brigade's fire mark had its own shape, picture and number. If a house didn't have a fire mark, then the fire wouldn't be put out. This wasn't very fair. So after a long time, almost 200 years, everything changed. We don't need fire marks on our houses anymore, and we now have one fire brigade in London, London Fire Brigade.
Thank you for watching our video about the Great Fire of London. We really hope that you enjoyed it. Why don't you have a go designing your own fire mark? We have a template worksheet that you can download. Firstly, pick a shape. This could be a circle or a square, you can choose. Then pick a design to go in the middle. This could be equipment related to firefighting, like a ladder or a hose, or even an animal that's got something to do with fire, like a dragon or a phoenix. It doesn't have to be a real animal. Then pop a number across the bottom. This was a bit like a receipt to prove that someone had paid their money. Once you're happy with your work, if you'd like to share it with us, then please ask an adult to post it online with the hashtag LFB Great Fire of London so that we can admire it.
Wow, that's an amazing bit of history. It's difficult to imagine a fire that big, isn't it? But let's come back to the present day now and hear from Becky, who works in our control room. She's going to explain what to expect if you ever need to call 999 in an emergency.
Hi, I'm Becky. I'm a control officer based at Merton. You may never need to call 999, but if you do, here's what to expect. When you ring 999, you'll be put through to a BT operator who will ask for what service you require. If you say fire, you'll be put through to the fire control room and you'll speak to somebody like me. First up, we'll ask you for the address of the emergency.
Fire Brigade, what's the address of the emergency?
But don't worry if you don't know it. Just look for the road name and a landmark. We will have some further questions for you.
And can you tell me what's happened there?
But don't worry, this won't delay any help getting to you.
Okay, the Fire Brigade's on the way.
Even if you don't have all of the information, please do call 999. Please don't assume that somebody else has.
Well, that sounds nice and simple, and hopefully you won't need to call 999. But if you do, now you'll know what to expect. But let's finish up now with a short video from Bianca, one of our education officers. She's going to tell you all about detection.
My name is Bianca and I work as an education officer for the London Fire Brigade. As part of the education team, we visit schools and talk to children about fire safety. Now today I'm going to talk to you guys all about something called PDE. Now PDE stands for Prevention, Detection and Escape, and these three words may one day save your life. In this session we're going to focus on detection. In this short presentation we're going to speak about how detecting a fire or the possibility of a fire as early as possible can keep you and your family safe. Now the key to early detection is having one of these. Do we all know what this is? That's right, it's a smoke alarm, and we should all have one of these in our homes. The purpose of these are to detect the presence of smoke in the air. So these are vital for giving us an early warning that something is not right in our homes and we need to take action and leave the house. We should all have these in our homes, at least one on every level or in any room where a fire could start. Did you know that most fires happen between the hours of 10 PM and 6 AM when a lot of people are sleeping? Now when you go to sleep, most of your senses go to sleep too, apart from your hearing which stays switched on. Which means that if the smoke alarm was to sound, you would wake up and be warned there is a problem. They should always be fixed to the ceiling because the first thing that comes from a fire is smoke, and smoke is a hot gas, so it rises up. Now, at the presence of smoke in the air, the smoke alarm will start to beep. Very loud, piercing beep that would give you and your family the warning you need to get out of the house. Now, there are some places where it's not the best idea to have a smoke alarm. For example, the bathroom. The steam from the bath or the shower could set the smoke alarm off. Another place is the kitchen. Whose smoke alarm has gone off when the adults have burnt the cooking? Me too. It's very annoying. So it's better to have a heat alarm in the kitchen. This is Aisha. Aisha is hearing impaired and wears a hearing aid. She takes these out at night to go to bed, meaning that if there was a fire in the home and her smoke alarm was beeping, Aisha would not be able to hear. What we do for people like her is fit a smoke alarm in the form of a pad which goes underneath her pillow and vibrates when there is smoke in the air. Aisha also has a flashing light which is fitted to her ceiling and flashes when it detects smoke. To Together, these special smoke alarms mean that everyone in your home would get an early warning and be able to escape safely. Now, we should all be testing our smoke alarms regularly to see if they are working. Your adults can do this by pressing the test button in the middle. If there is no sound like this, it's a possibility your batteries may need changing or your smoke alarm is faulty and it needs to be replaced straight away. Smoke alarms cost between £5 and £10 and can be bought from most DIY or home stores or even major supermarkets. Alternatively, you can get them from the London Fire Brigade. I'm going to test my smoke alarm again. This is what your smoke alarm should sound like when it's in working order. Smoke alarms do need to be tested once a month by your adults. Now, if you're not sure where to get your smoke alarms or how to fit them properly, you can get something called a home fire safety visit from the London Fire Brigade. Home fire safety visits are a free service for anyone who lives in London who needs new or replacement smoke alarms. They are all fitted for free by firefighters from your local fire station. Working smoke alarms save lives. Now remember, the most important and safest thing for your grown-ups at home is to take action and remove risk to prevent a fire from happening in the first place. This is covered in another video called Prevention. But accidents do happen, and having a working smoke alarm like this will give you the warning you need to be able to get out safely. So this is your challenge. Why don't you and the people you live with check your homes and ceilings to see if you have working smoke alarms on every level of your home. Remember, working smoke alarms save lives.
Really important information from Bianca there. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining us. We're looking forward to being able to run our normal open days at fire stations as soon as possible. But in the meantime, let's all stay safe.